Hello and welcome to another episode of This Entrepreneurial Life. My name is Erlen Bakke. I'm a serial entrepreneur, best-selling author of two books called Network Again and 90 Days to Profit. Today it's all about hypnosis, but first, just to sort of explain a little bit about myself. I've got 3 companies, 75 employees, and I've been doing business for about 10 years. So I have some experience. Some people have more experience than me, but I'm going to share with you the hints and tips that I've learned along the way, and it has been a bumpy road. So let's talk about what we think about comes about, how we think is basically we walk around with filters. So as 2 people at the same party, one person can have an amazing time, another person can be having a shitty time. It's all about how we see the world and what we are trained to see. And that's basically the software that's going on in here. And although you may be thinking one way, you can actually over time change how you think. And when you change how you think, your world changes. So it's a fascinating concept. Basically, your thoughts are creating your life as you go along. And a lot of us have programming from school, from parents, and such that maybe aren't working for us. So the good news is that there are tools and techniques to actually change how you think. So a couple of things that you can do is change your environment. So if you feel depressed, for instance, maybe you're hanging out with the wrong type of people because you are defined by the 4 or 5 people you spend the most time with. So maybe hang out with people that like Metallica, for instance. I don't know. But you're the average of the 4 or 5 people you spend the most time with. Oftentimes, your life can dramatically improve if you change your social group. Okay, so that means eliminating people that don't give you energy, people that drain your energy, eliminate them, spend more time with people that give you energy. And that's kind of an intuitive thing. So it's asking yourself, okay, what do I intuitively think I should be doing? Our brain has this way of, has one way of working, our intuition has another way of working. Typically, our intuition is more right, and when we listen to our intuition, we get more flow in our life, etc. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about hypnosis. So when I first started listening to hypnosis, I tried to do, as I did with most things in my life, I tried to just make it happen through brute force. So I tried to force things into existence. So when I was listening to the hypnosis, instead of relaxing and letting my subconscious mind be programmed, I had my conscious brain thinking about it constantly, trying to force it into existence. So the whole hypnosis became a chore. I'm sure it worked to a certain extent, but it didn't work fully. So the technique with hypnosis is that you need to accept and allow all the things that the person is saying. And you shouldn't be thinking about what the person is saying. You can actually just lie there and relax. So one way I've been using hypnosis, depending if I'm with my partner or not, but when I'm not sleeping in the same bed as my partner, I actually put hypnosis on before I go to bed. And typically different apps have different settings, so you can actually set it to sleep. So let's look at this success with Andrew Johnson. Okay, so let me just show you the apps. 1 second. So Andrew Johnson, you can get it on iTunes and the App Store, and you can download his apps. I think they're pretty good. But when you press begin, you have different settings. You can choose sleep. You can choose how many times to repeat the therapy. You can choose a long or short induction and instructions. You can also listen to the instructions. They're pretty useful. But I've been putting on hypnosis before going to sleep. Why is that a good thing? Well, first of all, when your brain starts hearing the hypnosis, the brain starts saying, oh, now it's time to sleep. I get it. Well, let's sleep. So you kind of automatically train yourself to just fall into sleep. Even though you fall asleep, your subconscious mind is still listening to the hypnosis, so you don't have to worry about that. And typically you have to listen to hypnosis for about 30 days. Another thing that I've started doing is you can get these AirPods from Apple. I put those in, and then I have this is called Sleep Master. You can get it on Amazon. It's basically one of those sleep masks. And when you put that on as well as the AirPods, you can keep your AirPods in there, and you can sleep through the night. So of course there's some discussion whether Bluetooth is good for you or not, but it's very micro. The waves are microwaves, so it should be very small levels of energy, so you should be all right. But do your own research on that, of course. So we have our conscious brain, which I'm now using to speak to you, but then in the back of my head there's lots of other things spinning as well. And our subconscious mind is there's a lot more going on in our subconscious mind than our conscious mind, and it takes quite a long time to actually replace what's going on in the subconscious mind, and it takes practice from the conscious mind and the unconscious mind together over time to reprogram yourself. So it's a bit like going to the gym. You gotta go frequently. You gotta go regularly over time. You gotta be consistent with it. So it's a training program, and over time you will start seeing things differently, doing things differently, and when you start seeing and doing things differently, you start getting different results in your life. And when you start getting different results, you have proof that things are actually working differently, and then that feeds on itself. So maybe you're at a place where things are very difficult. Now those experiences of difficulty are then being repeated. Our brain is a repetitive machine. It'll repeat things. It'll repeat scenarios, things you're scared of, etc. So basically we're created for survival. So our primary instinct in most things is survival. That's why we're scared of public speaking. We're scared of standing out. We're scared of lots of things. If you read the news a lot, you're scared of all the things in the news. That's because our brain is predominantly primed for survival, but we have something called the higher self. When you tap into your higher self, that's when you really feel alive. That's when life flows. That's when that's kind of like the God level of our brain. And if we're able to go into our higher self, we align ourselves with the universe or God, and things happen in a better way for us. So a couple of apps that I want to recommend. I basically only use two. Well, I've got three actually. So I've got Andrew Johnson. He's got lots of apps. They look like this. And then another one that I want to recommend is Omvana. So Omvana looks like this, and they have lots and lots of apps in there. The one I'm listening to at the moment is Insight, Reducing Stress and Allowing. I really, really like that one. And what I like about the Omvana app is that you can mix the song, so you can have somebody speaking and you can have a different soundtrack for every person speaking. So it's kind of like a DJ thing. You can choose what music you want to have and what voice to what voice. So I like that. And they're created by Mind Valley, which is a big company, so they're really good. So yeah, one third thing is you can actually go to a hypnotist and you can have your very own hypnosis made for you. So that can be very effective if you know specifically what you want help with. If you want specifically, like I have one for playing tennis. I'm a tennis player, so I've got a hypnosis specifically for tennis. So I listen to that a few days before I play a tournament or similar, and then it primes me to think about the kind of winning mind set that I need to win matches. So that's a little bit about hypnosis. The important thing here, I think, is do it. The second thing is relax when you're doing it. And the third thing is know that your thoughts create your life. My name is Erlen Bakke. I am the best-selling author of a book called Never Work Again and 90 Days to Profit. You can check out Hardcore MBA podcast on this YouTube channel. I have interviewed more than 250 billionaires, millionaires, real estate investors, Zen masters, and Navy SEAL commandos. And there's some really great people on there. So please check that out. This is the Entrepreneurial Life, where I basically do a daily video on different business things, different lessons. Sometimes I talk about what's difficult. Sometimes I talk about things that work. If you like this, please share it, subscribe, or don't. See you soon. Bye.